Hello everyone, this is the beginning of a new multiplayer game that I'm doing with some of the folks on the Explorminate Discord. This is a 3-player game, but we're playing with on a very large map with 6 AI. So I may run into the other players soon, I may run into them later. Based on my experience with these larger maps, usually you don't run into other players for a while. It tends to do a pretty good job of separating people out, but most of my experience with that is with 2 players, so we'll see if it's a little bit different here. One of the other players picked the traits for the setting, and I decided to go with this build in response to that. Most of this is just me wanting to try out Architects of Shadow and some of the other new content, but I did give them Inner Frost in part because we have Arctica as a presence trait on the map, and I want to make sure that I am able to stand up to her in the event that she is nearby, because she'll be a bit tougher than any of the other enemies we face. Plus, frost resistance, some frost retaliation damage isn't like the worst. My overall goal here is to try out necromancy as a architect, as well as the new necromancy tome. I don't expect it's going to be optimal with this, though to be fair, I haven't played a ton of necromancy, so I don't actually know what is optimal with it. But I went with this build. I'm going with Tome of Warding for now. And I guess we'll see what happens. So let's see. Conjure elemental. Yeah, this is normal. This is a lands map, which I'll get to in a second. So Visions of Destiny. So this is mostly because I want to check some of these out. I am going to go with this branch towards Whispers. This will let me actually hypercharge my affinity gaining with Shadow, particularly once I start building monuments. So I expect to be able to get to the really, really nice bonuses that Shadow has later in its tree faster. Plus, this will eventually give me a bonus after I complete the Destiny. And so in this case, I need to kill things and increase my Shadow affinity, which seems like pretty straightforward. I'm not going to read this. You can read that if you like. All right. Okay, so we're playing brutal difficulty. So this, in a way, can be kind of a look at how to play brutal as well. Okay, so I went ahead and picked Runesmiths as a cultural trait specifically because I knew it would give me an additional tier 2 starting unit, so I got that. That's awesome. And this right here is what I'm going to be going for first with my stack for exploration. So it seems likely that the city-states, free city, we have city-states as one of our traits that makes them a bit tougher, is either going to be the north or the east. I'm going northeast with this because I want to hit this first. Also, I can see over here that we have a infestation. I would like to deal with that before it starts sending armies across here. But first, I'm going to kill this, and then I'm going to probably have to heal after it, so I'll circle back here and then go over the mountains. So let's see what happens. Okay, so low risk. This thing is a question mark, so I may have to manual it depending on how bad it plays out. That's fine. Okay, I can just take that auto resolve. So I get a bit of gold. I'm not fast enough to go back right away, but I'll start heading back there in a second, and I'm just going to arbitrarily, I'm going to have the scout go this way. Okay, so for building, so let's take a look at the stack. Oh, that's right there too. I may actually grab that before I go over the mountains. Okay, so I have 2 frontliners, 3 backliners, so just arbitrarily based on that, I am going to go ahead and grab some Earthbreakers. I always start with a workshop when I'm building, so I'm going to do that here. For Arcane Research, Staves of Warding, Phantasm, these are all great spells. I want all 3 of them. But I'm going to go with the Summon first, because this lets me reinforce in a forward way, plus it's like probably the best tier 1 summon that doesn't advance to a tier 3 summon that's out there. So we're going to go and research this guy. And that is everything for the first turn. So I'm going to go ahead and end the turn here, hand it off to the next player in line, and we will continue next time.